Welcome back to Understanding Insulin, the Key to Wellness. I'm your host, Dr. Padma Ramurthy. And in our previous episode, we dived deep into the intriguing world of insulin resistance. We learned how this condition occurs when our body's cells become unresponsive to insulin, triggering a cascade of complex metabolic changes. The journey from initial insulin resistance to the next stage marked by overproduction of insulin or hyperinsulinemia to overcome the insulin resistance to the final full-blown type 2 diabetes is a path often traveled without us realizing it. Today, let's explore how we can diagnose insulin resistance and, more importantly, the steps we can take to delay the progression to diabetes. So, how do we diagnose insulin resistance? Unfortunately, there isn't a straightforward test for it. As long as your pancreas produces enough insulin to conquer the resistance, you won't experience symptoms. However, tests like fasting blood glucose, HbA1c, can provide insights. Elevated levels may indicate your body's struggle against insulin resistance, often in the form of hyperinsulinemia. But what can you do to combat this silent foe? The primary culprit behind insulin resistance is excess weight, especially around the abdominal region or the abdominal fat. Chronic oversupply of energy from food and a sedentary lifestyle contribute to this condition. Research suggests that losing excess body weight and reducing intra-abdominal fat mass are strongly linked to improved insulin sensitivity. So, what's the plan in terms of nutrition? Nutritional recommendations for those at risk of developing diabetes, especially those who are overweight, recommends a few essential steps. 1. Aim for at least 7% weight loss. 2. Restrict saturated fats to less than 7% energy intake, and limit cholesterol intake to less than 200 milligrams per day. Cut down trans fats and ensure you consume at least 14 grams of fiber per 1000 kilocalories. Grams. Protein intake should be around 15 to 20% of your energy intake, as long as your kidney function is normal. Another helpful tip is to pair carbohydrates with protein or healthy fats. This pairing can help slow the rise in blood sugar levels. For example, try an apple with peanut butter or whole grain crackers with cheese. But what about an ideal diet? Focus on non starchy vegetables, complex carbohydrates, and high fiber foods. Consuming high fiber foods like artichokes, peas, squash, acorn squash, Brussels sprouts, avocado, legumes, beans, flax seeds, chia seeds, quinoa, all these can increase satiety, take longer to digest, and support overall well being because they are high fiber foods. Other foods like leafy greens like kale, cabbage, spinach, cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, tomatoes, asparagus, green beans, carrots, peppers, all these vegetables contain enough fiber and very good for us. When it comes to fruits, options like watermelon, cantaloupe, berries, and citrus fruits are excellent choices. Reversing insulin resistance requires lifestyle changes, such as reducing processed and sugary foods. Opt for healthy beverages like water, herbal tea, or black tea. Use the diabetes plate method to structure your meals, balancing non starchy vegetables, lean proteins, and carbohydrates. Small changes can have a significant impact. The Diabetes Prevention Program study showed that individuals who lost 7% of their body weight and engaged in 150 minutes of weekly exercise reduced their diabetes risk by 58% over 3 years. In conclusion, the recipe for managing insulin resistance is simple. Adopt a balanced diet that incorporates a variety of food groups such as vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes. This approach can help your body manage sugar levels and improve insulin resistance. This is Understanding Insulin, the Key to Balance, where we decode the science of well-being and aim to regenerate your understanding of health.